All right, guys, we're going to finish up Skins Part 3. Just a small section left, okay, guys? So let's make a prediction. Is Jimmy T really a faker, or is there more to him than people see? Once again, guys, Mitchell Sabatis is our narrator. He is our first-person narrator. He is our protagonist, but as you guys have seen, this story is really focused a lot on Jimmy T, the new student, the star quarterback, who looks like an Indian, right, guys? But we know already that he's not. And Randolph, okay, another new student at the high school. And together on the football team, they're quarterback and center, which means they have to really work together. But with part 2, we had a lot of tension. Okay, we had a little bit of a fight. We had some emotion. We had tears and this and that. So let's listen to our last section here. I think we're going to get our climax, our turning point. Let's look for a mood change in the story from either good to bad or bad to good. Here we go.
Saturday after I met Jimmy T's mom was the Big Creek game. We were down 13-0. The Long Pond Lumberjacks had turned back into the Wrong Pond Flapjacks. Jimmy looked like he was moving in slow motion. He couldn't even buy a completed pass. Like always, Jimmy's dad was on the sidelines yelling. He wasn't yelling at the referees or the other players at all. His whole attention was on Jimmy. "You're a loser, kid, a loser," he bellowed like a wounded moose. "I always knew it. You're as weak as your mother." After that, Jimmy could barely make a clean handoff. It was the worst first half of football I've ever been part of. Finally, and none too soon, it was halftime. Jimmy sat with his head down in the locker room. No one was talking to him, not even Coach Carson. We had to be back on the field in 5 minutes. Coach motioned to the team. "Let's go," he said. Jimmy didn't move. Coach grabbed my arm before I could follow the rest of the team out the door. "Mitch," he whispered, "you're the only player with his head still in this game. Talk to him." "Why me?" I said. Coach looked up toward the sky in exasperation. "Jeezum, do you always have to go back and forth between being brilliant and brain dead, Sabatis? Just do it." From behind Coach's back, Randolph held up his hand and gave me the thumbs up sign. He believed in me too, even if I didn't. Coach Carson shut the locker room door, leaving the two of us alone. "I never really said I was Indian," Jimmy T said, without looking up. "We moved around so much. Whenever I showed up at a new school wearing this jewelry and with this hair, people assumed I was Native American. It was easier to just go along with it. But it's like Randolph said, I'm a phony. My real middle name is Thomas. There's no Indian blood in our family. We're Hungarian." He slammed his fist against the locker next to him. I didn't say anything. "Geez," Jimmy T said. "My dad is right." He looked across at me and I could see the pain in his eyes. There's no way I can ever live up to his standards. He said it didn't matter how many football games I won. I was still a born loser. I kept my mouth shut. Another lesson Uncle Tommy taught me. Never interrupt people when they're speaking from their heart. Jimmy T took another deep breath. "I wish I really was Indian. I'm not real like you, Mitchell." He clenched his fists and looked down at his feet. "It's just so much easier to hide your real self." "I know," I said. Jimmy T hadn't avoided me because I wasn't real enough. He'd been afraid I'd see that he was playing a part. He'd become a pretend Indian to get away from the pain in his own life. But I didn't hate him for it. The real Indians I've known have done their share of trying to get away, too. Like Uncle Tommy told me, pain is part of the admission fee for being human. In that moment, I knew that we'd have our undefeated football season. Of course, I'm writing this after all that happened, so that's easy for me to say. But I really did know we'd go back out on the field with our hearts in the game and win. also knew, as Jimmy T sat there with the look of a lost soul on his face, that there was only one thing I could say. Jimmy, I've got this friend. His name is Uncle Tommy Fox. When he comes back, I'm going to introduce you to him. But for right now, let me just tell you what I know he'd tell you. I paused. Jimmy T lifted his head to look at me like a drowning person who hopes someone will throw him a life preserver. What? Jimmy T said. What would he say? I spoke, but I was hearing Uncle Tommy's voice sharing a lesson that both Jimmy and I needed. Whoever you are is real enough. Underneath our skins, everyone's blood is red.